In this screencast, I'm going to solve a triangle given side angle side using law of cosines. In this example, I'm given side C is equal to 42, side B is equal to 21, and the measure of angle A is 39 degrees. And I'm trying to solve for the rest of the measures of the triangle. So the first thing to do is understand why I'm given side angle side. And if you're confused by that, you can sketch an arbitrary triangle. Doesn't matter what dimensions or orientation it is. And just fill in A, B, and C. So I'm given angle A is 39 degrees. I'm given side B across from here is 21. Side C is 42. So I'm given two sides an angle, and the angle that I know is included or in between the two sides. So that's why I have side angle side. If I was given angle B or angle C, it would be side angle. But in this case, it's side angle side. So the missing information I need to solve for: the measure of angle C, the measure of angle B, and the length of side A. So I'm going to use law of cosines to do this. Because I'm trying to find the measure of, or the length of side A first, I'm going to start with A squared is equal to. And now on the right-hand side of the equation, B squared plus C squared minus 2 times B times C times cosine A. There are no variables. So that means I'm going to be able to evaluate it. A squared, go ahead and plug in my variables, equals 21 squared plus 42 try that again, 42 squared minus 2 times 21 times 42 times cosine of 39 degrees. So I can type this all in the calculator in one step, but I think I'll type it in a couple. I'm going to evaluate A squared, and then I'll just evaluate the square root. So let's go ahead and do that. 21 squared plus 42 squared minus 2 times 21 times 42 times cosine of 39. So that gives me what A squared is equal to. Now I want to take the square root of that. I'm going to use that previous answer feature. And I get A is equal to 28.88. Don't forget to take the square root. It's a step a lot of people forget. So right away I've got one part done. A is equal to 28.88. Okay, so now I have to find the measure of angle B and the measure of angle C. Now here you might be tempted to use law of sines, and there's a good chance it's going to work out just fine if you do. But the recommendation that I make is that when you're doing side angle side or side side, you just finish out the problem without law of sines and only use law of cosines. The reason is that sometimes you're going to run into some ambiguous case problems if you're putting in side angle information. So it's easier to just use law of cosines than to try to remember when you can and when you can't use law of sines. So side angle side, I'm not going to use law of sines at all. So I've got two angles left to find. I'm going to find one of them with law of cosines, and I'm going to find the other either by law of cosines or adding them up and subtracting from 180. So let's find angle B. Cosine of B is equal to, and then I'm going to have B squared, which is 21, minus A squared, which is about 28.88 squared, minus C squared, divided by negative 2 times 28.88 times 42. So put this in the calculator in a couple of steps. And I could use my previous answer feature here. I guess I'll go ahead and do that. and I'll evaluate that. I could type it all in one step, but not entirely necessary. Make sure I put the denominator in parentheses, and type everything else in. And that's what cosine of b is equal to. Now, I want to evaluate the arc cosine function. I know the ratio. I want to know the angle. So angle B is about 27.23 degrees. So I'll fill it in up here. So now I can, I could evaluate those in the calculator, or I could use law of cosines again, or I could add them up and subtract from 180. I guess I'll add them and subtract from 180. So plus 39, 180 minus previous answer. I get 113.77 degrees. And the triangle has been solved.